when a customer asks, I have this covered call position, got in the stock at 138.50, sold the 136 call for 690, and the stock now jumped up to 153, 154. It's up 10, 12%. Should I roll this covered call, which will now cost $16.13 to buy back? My first response to that question is always, well, what is your trading plan? In this case, this covered call, regardless of the number of shares and contracts, has a return if assigned of 3.3%. So, in the position for about 10 days, make 3.3% if you're assigned. Okay? And of course, the expiration, if it stays above 136, highly likely in the next 6 days, unless there's another market flux, would be 3.3%. And right now, because there's still some time value left, the liquidation value is only 2%. So what is the trading plan? Are you entering covered calls for the purpose of being assigned and making, let's say, 1.5 to 2% every 5 to 10 days? We are not married to the stock for long-term growth. You're just looking to make a consistent return on a good quality stock. Okay? So what we have to analyze first is, does rolling keep us within our trading plan? So let's say that every 10 days or so, and this one was a high example, of course, due to the event coming up, but let's say every 10 days, the goal is to make 3%. This one will make 3.3%. So what I want to do now is we just go to the Position Actions menu from our portfolio and go to Position Analysis. Whether you're tracking a covered call, naked put, long call, married put, credit spread, when you link to this page, it's going to give you a breakdown of where you stand right now. So you're still 1.1% time value remaining on the price with 7 days left to expiration. And as we scroll down here, we see that there's our current liquidation value after 3 days and our future expiration value as well. Now, down below, we have several rollout opportunities, which show for you, we do the math for you, so you see what the new strike price would be. The adjusted net credit, negative means this would be rolling for a debit on the position, negative adjusted net credit, and the new potential return if assigned. So keeping the same expiration, 7 days away, rolling up to the higher strikes would give us an increased return of maybe 0.2% to the 148 call, from 3.3 where we are now to 3.5, 3.6, and 4%. So this goes up 0.5%, 0.7% I should say, keeping the same expiration. If the stock remains above 150 and we're assigned, and this is done at a debit of 570. Remember, it's going to cost us $16, $17 to buy to close our existing call, and we're only going to get $450 for the new call. So the original premium of $690 plus the new premium of $450 minus our buyback cost gets us that new adjusted debit $570. But it increases the return because we're moving the strike from 136 to 150, a 14-point move. Are there rolls that can be done at a credit? Yes, but they're kind of interesting, aren't they? As we scroll down here, we see if we went out to the 13th of September, we get a 5-cent net credit rolling to the 144 strike, but adding 7 days only gives us 0.7%. Is that within our target range of 3% every 10 days or so? No, it's behind it. I'd want to see this return, if I'm going out another additional 5, 7, 10 days, go from 3.3 to maybe 5.5 or maybe 6.3. And those are up here going out to September 13th, going out another week. But because of the time premium, we're still paying a debit. The increase in return comes from the increase in the strike, because we are adding to the cost basis by doing this. So the question is it a good time to roll? And the answer is, well, based on what's available within your trading plan time frame to still match your trading goals and still meets your expectation of being assigned in that time frame. If you think Roku in this example was going to pull back, maybe drop back down to 148 or 147, I don't necessarily know if I want to sell the 150 call, even though it increases my return up to 5.5%. I might just want to take the 3.3%, take the profit I planned on to meet my trading plan, and then look for the new positions after I clear out. But this analysis tool will give you that exact breakdown, making sure you're staying in line with your trading plan and your specific goals for that trade, along with the probability of still getting assigned to make that return. Is that still worth it for you? And is it worth it for you also increasing the risk? Because most of these are going to have to be done at a debit on that big move. And then we're going to have to realize that if the stock falls, we actually have more capital into the position even though we generated a new premium. Right? And Sam says he likes Roku. It's a good stock. He might hold on to it. Another option, of course, is that based on the increase in price from your purchase, we got it at 138.50, it's at 151.36. We're going to pay the premium to buy it back, but depending on what the premium purchase is, we saw it around $15, $16, I believe. If I wanted to stay in Roku long term, because I thought it was going to go up, do I keep wanting to roll up and cap the gain and then have to roll up again and then have to roll up again? I might be better off taking the increased cost basis in this case of buying to close the call outright. Let's see here, midpoint is going to be around $16 or so, as we saw. So let's say that I do buy it back. I'm going to increase my cost in the position by about $10. If I use the midpoint to buy to close our 136 call at 16.10, 16.50, okay, 16.15. So now my cost goes up from 138.50 to 147.72. I increased the cost basis. Now I'm just in a long stock, but I like the stock. It's trading 4 or 5 points higher than when I purchased it. So if I want to hold this longer term, what I might consider doing, it's going out to maybe January, maybe a little bit further, and converting it, even though I increased the cost basis, I might look now to buy a 160 put with no capped gain after we, take out this position, and we said we increased our cost to 147.75 or so, okay? And I created as a married put. Yes, I'm paying a lot of money to buy this 160 put, but I have $5, $4 already of intrinsic gain because the stock's above my price. This risk is still a little bit too high. I was hoping to see only a 4% or 5% risk because we've got some gain in the position. But we've got to give a lot of that gain up to take care of the call, which is hindering further gains in that point as well. Okay, so depending on what your goals are for the stock now that it's made the move, if you think it's going to pull back, you might just want to let your covered call be assigned. If you don't think it's going to still have projected growth that matches your trading plan, again, you might just want to let it get assigned. If you think Roku has the power now to have steady growth, as Sam's commented he believes it's still a strong stock, then you might want to roll the position, but we'll use that position analysis tool to make sure that the rolls we're looking at, the increase in the new potential return matches our trading plan as if we were opening a new covered call today, so we're not just rolling for the sake of rolling and not matching our trading plan. So it's okay, to answer Vince's question, it's okay to roll up if it matches your plan and your sentiment in the stock remains for what you'd look for in a covered call position. If the sentiment has changed, you think it's going to pull back, or you don't think the stock's going to be as strong as you originally anticipated, you might just want to let it get assigned, take the return you expected, and then move on and look for another position that matches your criteria. All right, so that's what I just wanted to cover. Again, don't roll for the sake of rolling and rolling covered calls. If anyone's interested in more information on that, you can probably see that here in our webinars page, powerup.com/webinars.asp. Under the options concept section, let's see, manage for a broken position, Greeks, waiting to roll. Yeah, and there's another one here, don't roll for the sake of rolling. I've seen that. It might be in the other section, but also in the option strategy sections, there's discussion there on rolling up a covered call, when it's a good idea to do it versus just liquidating or waiting for assignment depending on the gain on your position.